We have a brand new album review for you this week on Get in the Garage. It is Travis Scott's new album, Utopia, his first since 2018's Astro World. This is a big record, 73 minutes, 27 seconds long, 19 tracks. Some of the features on here for you, big stars. Bad Bunny, The Weeknd, Kid Cudi, Westside Gun, Young Thug, 21 Savage. Dave Chappelle's on this record, just like on the Killer Mike record that we reviewed a couple weeks ago. SZA, Beyonce, if I hadn't said it yet, Drake, if I haven't said him yet either. So huge stars all over this record with Travis Scott. And the producers on this record, Travis Scott is a producer on a lot of tracks on this record, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Artist, producer, among many others. The producer Wheezy, Wonder Girl, Vegan, Vinyls, 30 Rock, The Alchemist, Buddy Ross, Boogs the Beat, so many others, Boy Wonder. Kanye West is also a producer on some of the tracks on this album, and if you've heard it, it is very Kanye influenced. So getting into it from there, what I think about this album. I want to let everybody know I'm not really a hip-hop head. I can't, roll with the best of them and name it, but I liked what I like in hip-hop, and I listen to a lot of it now because doing reviews on this show, you can look back and see all the stuff we reviewed and some of the throwback stuff we've done. So having said that, this is a very big event. It almost feels like a yearbook for, rap and hip-hop and what's big and who's what. As far as even producers and the features go, the production on this record is the first thing that really grabbed me upon first listen, and this is a first listen for me for Travis Scott as well. I'm not well versed in Travis Scott. I don't have a vested knowledge of his back catalog, so this is just me giving you the album as I feel it. And as I heard it, and coming from me, a guy that is, a casual hip-hop listener. So if it resonates with you on that level, awesome. And if I'm missing some of the context of this record, please fill me in the comments. I love to learn. I love to, relate things to other tracks. So if you are obsessed with this record, let me know about it, and, let me know what you think about what I think. So having said that, this record is, first of all, I think very well produced. There's a lot of production things on here that, upon the first listen, really sparked my ears and really perked me up. And I was like, oh, I really like a lot of the feel and the vibe on some of this. If I'm just talking in vague, real fast, broad strokes, this album seemed like it was very long to me, and not in the way I love. None of the tracks on here were tracks where I was I hate this. This is ugh. But the bloatedness of it, by the time I got down to, I'm gonna say, I know on the record, is when I was okay, I was having a bit of ear fatigue, but there were so many great moments from there on down, that this really feels like it was made to be the soundtrack to a couple of years until the next record comes out, or at least the soundtrack for the rest of the year kind of thing, because it's a lengthy statement. Having said that, I know that the length of hip-hop albums, modern hip-hop albums especially, we're either getting 30-minute things or giant records like this. The Megan Thee Stallion record was big like this. Drake's Honestly Nevermind, the 21 Savage Drake record. There's so much stuff that's very long or either very short. So where do I fall on it? Probably somewhere in the middle. I'm more of a classic guy. I grew up in the CD era, so I even grew up with long hip-hop albums then, 19 tracks. So I know it's the tradition, the mixtapes have always been long. So me saying that this isn't listenable in one full chunk, I know that's not the most fair thing to say, but I like to listen to albums in one full motion, and I think a lot of classic albums are meant to be listened to that way. I don't know if this might be more of a playlist or soundtrack to your life kind of thing. And speaking of which, I think this album is really blowing up in that way for a lot of people right now. people really seem to like be taken with it in the pop sense. I think this is getting down to like the content of it. Is really is Travis Scott my favorite rapper? I don't think he's like my favorite rapper. The context of the rapping on here was like it was all good and flowed with the songs, and I really liked it. There was some of that big pitch effect stuff going on that I think is interesting and cool, done for effect. Is he like rapping about the most introspective things on earth? I don't think so, but he is also putting a lot of himself in the music, I think, and like putting himself at least the way he feels. So if it's not the most introspective thing on earth, that's kind of fine with me because I think the production in the Star Show kind of did it for me in a lot of ways. Like, I more kind of enjoyed this as like a pop record with great production that it's hip hop based, rap based, than I did more of like this is like a hip hop record. And I'm gonna kind of put my feelings towards it like more that way. Having said that, I did read the Pitchfork review. I read other reviews because I like music criticism. I do it. So I like to read other people's thoughts on it. Pitchfork had kind of the view that Travis Scott is like an empty, like there's not a lot of like content to his rap. Like, yeah, but I think this was like more of like a day in the life. I think like there has been a lot of controversy in his life. Obviously, the Astroworld festival that goes on, and he's very, very famous. And I think maybe some of like that in people's minds like wanted to be like hit or like talked about or thought about. And I think like the content of him just kind of like maybe moving on past those events is some people might think certain ways about that or maybe wanted to like hear him elaborate his thoughts on that. I think there's just like who he is on here, and for me obviously too, I think I just hit it more on like a pop record and kind of hit it more that way. So getting into it, what I feel about it in those terms. Delestro, I hope I pronounced that right, the track with Beyonce on it. This record it sounded a lot like Beyonce's record. It has like from last year, it had like the Renaissance. It had, which we reviewed if you want to go look back. It had that like poppy house music, not poppy really, more like dance music, house music, Euro funk thing going on. Beyonce kills this track too. She like sings all over it, really does a great job on it, and it kind of I'm not going to deteriorate that it kind of sounded like her record. I think it kind of sounded interesting that it like Travis Scott took like a moment, and some people, that's the deterioration they feel like it's kind of taking. But another thing on here, even like K-pop with Bad Bunny and The Weeknd, I can't like hate on this. I kind of like the idea of the song, the Bad Bunny. It's like a good pop thing for the moment, and Bad Bunny was great on it. I thought The Weeknd was cool. I like the idea of like the K-pop song. I was here for it. So it was things like that kind of pushed me in that more direction. Obviously, there is more harder leaning hip hop rap on here. So let's get into that, like my favorite of that kind of stuff on here. I'm going to go with Utopia Twins with 21 Savage. And that song for me on here was such a banger. I really, really, really love 21 Savage on that track. I've really been taken by 21 Savage lately as well, too. And he's become one of my favorite rappers of late. So I really, really like that tune on here. It was heavy, hitting hard. 21 Savage also made me laugh on that track about the song about the line about oral sex. It was very, very funny to me. So stuff like that. Also, this song with Drake on here, I really, really liked, Meltdown. And that's coming from someone that really hasn't enjoyed the last couple of Drake records. I enjoyed 21 Savage on that record more than I did Drake. And this song I really, really liked, especially Drake on this record, or this track. It was really, really hitting for me. You'll notice, too, I'm hitting a lot of, like, the features on here. I liked Travis Scott. I thought he flowed well on his record. I just thought he might have gotten overshadowed a little bit by the features on this record, which is maybe unfortunate, but it feels to me like it's still a great record and there's a lot of good stuff on here. So I don't know where I kind of stand on it. I kind of liked the fact that he added a lot of features that helped the tracks and really brought them up. So I'm not going to like kind of diss it because I think like he brought great people to the party. And if that's how I feel about it. So, and getting into other tracks on here, the opener, Hyena, I really love that vocal thing. Like Travis Scott also has been saying, this record's going to be a bit more psychedelic in feel, and coming right off the bat, the production of that vocal thing, the Maggot Brain samples, I think that's what I read it was Maggot Brain. So, by Parliament Funkadelic, and a Gentle Giant song, I think, the prog rock band. So that was really, really cool to me. I really liked that coming in. It was very cool, very weird. Thank God I also thought was cool. Modern Jam, My Eyes, the first 4 songs really were like the real like Travis Scott hip hop right out the gate, telling you like what it is. And then My Eyes obviously being that more mellow one that gets like more upbeat and trap at the end. But that's how like I really like that opening of it. It was really like, this is Travis Scott, and there's no like features on those opening tracks either. So it's kind of just, this is who I am. He makes his statement and then like lets that party come in later on. My favorite standout tracks on here, I'm gonna go, are My Eyes. I like the transition of the track. I like how it gets that slow, like that ambient mellow thing in the beginning and the transition to the end. It's emotional. I think that's like kind of where he was going for. Does it hit as introspective as Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? I don't think so, or even Killer Mike's record from a few weeks ago. So, but it does hit for me on that way, and it's him putting himself out there. So I was here for it, and obviously I love that trap thing at the end. Something else I wanted to hit too, speaking of that Killer Mike record from a couple weeks ago, Dave Chappelle was on that record talking, doing a spoken word piece before the track. Run, I believe, is might be the name of the track on there. But it's Dave Chappelle speaking like directly to Killer Mike, like something he had said to him. And Dave Chappelle is also on this record. So is Dave Chappelle, is that like you have to put him on your hip hop record now? I like it. I'm here for it. I think he is a huge hip hop head, and obviously, and it feels cool like when he's on there. I think it's like interesting, adds another element to it. And even that song, Parasol, question mark, it has like that really cool like guitar thing to it, kind of like Gorillaz-y even. So I liked that. It was like that mellow kind of thing, and I really thought that was cool. So this is gonna be a bit shorter of a review because obviously it is just me here this week. So you're only gonna hear my thoughts. I don't know if I have any more thoughts on this record really. Travis Scott, first introduction, like just really giving you like the round off. I don't know if I want to dock him for the here for the party thing because I think he did it well. The rap was cool. Nothing was like whack to me on this record. I'm an old man, sorry. But like nothing was like, oh, like that's, regrettable or that doesn't sound cool. Obviously I'm not all down with like the misogyny when it's, placed in places, but that kind of is what it is in hip hop. And I've stated on other reviews that I'm not like super here for that, but I do like the braggadocious party thing, and that's, fun for me, and I thought this record was all that. Like I said in the beginning of it, it felt like more of like a yearbook of pop, and Travis Scott brought together who is in that zeitgeist, and I think that's where it hit. Another thing I was going to talk about too was the Kanye influence on this record. I don't know if I was like here for that or not here for that. A lot of that Kanye stuff is over 10 years old at this point. Like, I think Yeezus is 2010 or 11. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. And even before that, so some of the stuff on here was very much Kanye influenced, and even like some of the songs on here were supposed to end up on Donda but didn't, or other Kanye projects. So that was kind of strange too. I know I said I was gonna round this off, but I forgot I had more of these Kanye West thoughts. That I wanted to hit on here. So Circus Maximus had the like black skinhead thing from Yeezus, the like dum thing, rolling beat through there. Did I like it better on Kanye's record? Of course I did. That song is really super iconic and amazing. This song, it was cool and awesome, and I think I just like the influence of it. It was like kind of hearing like a guitar riff, and I'm not like here for like, I'm more here for like, it's like a wink and a nod to someone he's influenced by, and I think we can all pick up on it. Some of the other stuff, like the stuff that was supposed to end up on actual Kanye songs on here, I know I have it written down somewhere on here. God's Country, Donda related on here. It was supposed to be on it, but it got dropped. But there was another song on here that had Kanye originally on it. Kanye was taken off the track on it, and just was left with Travis Scott on it. So that was an interesting thing, and that was supposed to end up on Donda, which obviously didn't, and ended up on the Travis Scott record. Donda was such a strange release in music, not just in hip hop, because that was like Kanye West kept like previewing it and like releasing it and then like editing it. So as someone who was kind of off the Kanye train for, I think, obvious reasons at this point, as why you maybe would not want to mess with that dude and his music. His past music though it's kind of has a Michael Jackson thing. It's iconic in a lot of ways and influential in so many. But as we say on the show all the time when we bring them up, it's, can be difficult. So I was kind of out of the conversation on like Donda, but the re-releasing of tracks, the player that he had, that stem player where you could literally like remix the tracks in like the moment and bring in like all the elements and pieces that he had and take them out. So that album was like completely like a kind of like a smattering like creative mess, and if some of the people that were creative on that record kind of picked up the pieces and put it in their own thing, I guess I'm not super mad about that either. I did listen to that song with Kanye West. I wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't in my notes. But I did listen to it with Kanye on it. Whatever that song is, please throw it in the comments, like a link. It's on YouTube somewhere. I might just do it in the link below. But I listened to it. I think it was better with Kanye on it. Yes, I did. But am I mad that Travis Scott like picked and made something else out of it? No. But is it because like you didn't want so much Kanye on here because he's controversial? I don't know. Those are like things that are above my pay grade. Tell me what you think in the comments. So having said that, we talked about the Pitchfork review. Pitchfork gave this a pretty harsh review. I think they gave it a 5.7, 5.5, something like that. I don't think I'm here for it like that. I think I'm at least here for this record, and here is my number. I think I'm here for at least at a 7, 7.5. Maybe I'm going to split it in the middle and say 7.2. Could Travis Scott have like some more hard-hitting stuff? Sure. But was it like just fine, and the tracks production was really, really good, and there was a lot of cool stuff on here? That's how I more felt about it. It was incredibly listenable. If hip-hop's your thing, this might be a little bit too light for you, I think. Like, if that's my kind of thing, if you're obviously more on, like, I just listen to music and vibe kind of thing, I think this is going to be more of, like, your area. There's a lot more cool stuff on here. So, hip-hop heads, let me know if I got it wrong. I think this record is really, really cool, and obviously it's super dense. I listened to it about 5 times. It was incredibly hard to listen to all the way through in one sitting, like I said, more at the top of this review. But having said that, I'm here for it. I'm kind of interested to listen back to the rest of Travis Scott's catalog and see like what's up there, and if I was like missing something. If you think I should listen to something, please tell me if there's key tracks in his catalog that I gotta hear. Let me know in the comments. Do you disagree with me? Let me know. I can take it. I have rough skin. So let me know Obviously, some of you in that Greta Van Fleet from last week weren't too pleased with me, but if you were watching that, I don't know if you're going to watch this one. I hope you do, because I'm a music lover and I want everybody to enjoy wide varieties of music. This was incredibly hard for me to do. This is the first time I've ever soloed a camera before, so that didn't sound right. But this is the first time I've done a one-on-one thing on YouTube before, so be kind to me, everybody. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. This has been Luke and Get in the Garage podcast.